Welcome to the Coastal Kitchen. I'm Karen Mashers, and today we've got a real treat for you. We're going on a field trip. We're going to see James Russ, who is the premier meat smoker in Brunswick County. If you've ever had one of his Boston butts, you have tasted heaven in the meat department. I'm making the fixins to go with it because we're going to have a couple of people there to feed. So let's start our show with fast and easy baked beans. And you know, baked beans are basically navy beans if you do it from the dried bean. I'm not doing that because we're going to do it nice and fast. I've used canned baked beans, and I'm going to dress them up a little bit. What I have got is about 80 ounces of canned baked beans. I drained a little bit off of it, and I'm going to put in one small, well, medium onion. Got some chopped up there. We're going to put in a good cup of ketchup. We're going to put in something that's sort of a secret ingredient, chili sauce. You can find it at your grocery store, and we're going to put a whole bottle of chili sauce in these baked beans. And just remember, if you have a tough time getting it out, tap it with the heel of your hand and it'll come right out of that bottle. Okay, I'm going to give this a quick stir. Get all those ingredients together. And now we're going to put in our brown sugar. I've got a cup of packed brown sugar. That's going to go in. And I've got a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar that I'm going to pour right over the sugar. It really makes the sugar melt real fast. Adds a little bit of tang to the beans. Give it a good stir. And I've chopped up about 6 pieces of bacon. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that bacon uncooked into my baked beans. We're going to cook these about 350. Let's get these hands washed real fast. For about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. You'll be able to tell when they're done, and of course they can sit in the oven a little bit longer because the longer they bake, the better they are. Okay. Now, I have an 11 by 9 pan, and this fits right in. Just pour it right in. Let's get all those onions. And then I'm going to take just 3 rashers of bacon and put right on the top. And we're going to pop it in this 350 oven and let her cook. It's a great dish for any kind of picnic. All right, let's go straight over here because we've got to get to James. He's cooking. This is the Chelsea Tearooms pasta salad, and it is absolutely fabulous. I have got my pot of water boiling, and I've got a pound of rotini pasta, and I used the colored kind, the tri-colored. We're going to throw that in, and you want to salt your pasta really well because that's when it really will take the salt. I'm going to throw some in there. Let's get a spoon. Give it a stir and bring it back to a boil. And here's a little tip. If you take a spoon and put it over the top of your pot, it won't boil over. All right, let's get fingers washed up and start with our Chelsea Tearoom pasta salad. I have some frozen garden peas, and they have been thawing. They go right in the big bowl. I have 4 stalks of celery, all diced up. Put those right on top. I've got a medium red onion, goes right in. This is a really fast salad. It's really good. It does need to stay in the refrigerator for about 2 hours before you serve it though. So I've got some extra in the fridge already. Okay, that's in there. Let's just chop up a little bit more onion. I love a salad that's chilled with that brisket on a hot day. Absolutely fabulous. And if you have anything else that you'd like to add to this salad, you know, it is how you like it. And I have put green pepper in, and I have also put a couple of tomatoes in, small cherry tomatoes cut in half. All right, we are going to start with our sauce. And I have mayonnaise, got a cup, and sour cream, and 3 tablespoons of buttermilk. We're gonna put that right in. Give it a nice whisk. Get it all mixed together. And you can find the ranch dressing packets at your grocery store. Now, the juice of half a lemon gives it such a fresh flavor. And I'm going to juice this real good because I want as much as I can get. And now I'm going to pour it into my hand because I don't want any of those seeds to go in my dressing. Let's turn around and take a look at this pasta. See, it's not boiling over. And it goes for about 10 minutes. You want it at the al dente stage, so it's just a little chewy. Okay, now let's give this a good stir. Want all that lemon juice to be blended in. And another lovely fresh ingredient is the dill. And I have taken most of the stems off the dill. I leave the little tiny ones on. And we're going to use 2 tablespoons of fresh dill. And if you use dried dill, just use 1 because the flavor is a whole lot stronger. Okay. Right in my bowl with my vegetables, and we're gonna put that to the side. We're gonna take a short break while our pasta's cooking, and I'm gonna get ready to make you some corn sticks with red pepper flakes.
The Coastal Kitchen would like to say thank you to our sponsors at Food Lion, your neighborhood grocery store. Since 1957, Food Lion has been offering the highest quality products at low prices with great service. Swing by your local Food Lion today to find all the ingredients needed to make the meal featured on this week's show.
Welcome back. Looks like our pasta is done. I'm gonna grab this real fast, bring it back over here. I've got my colander, and with this pasta, we're going to drain it, and then we are going to rinse it. Whoops, lovely steam. Rinse it with cold water. Normally I don't rinse my pasta, but in this dish, we need to. Okay. Let's give it a little toss and shake, because I want it cooled off before I put it in with my vegetables. I can almost taste it. Okay, give them a good shake, drain all that excess off. This dish doesn't take more than about 20 minutes from start to finish. So don't be afraid to make it for your friends. All right, pasta in, and we're gonna give it a nice toss. I love garden peas, and you know what? When I had the big garden, I think I ate more peas when I picked them in the garden than I did cooking them. Okay, everything's nice and mixed. We're gonna give this another little stir and pour it right over the top. Just want to make sure that you coat all the pasta with your dressing. So make sure you get down to the bottom of the bowl. And again, this is going to go into the refrigerator for 2 hours before you serve it. And you will really, really enjoy this dish. That dill just gives it such a freshness. It really is summertime. Good summertime flavor. Okay. Got it all mixed up. You can take a lovely look, and we're going to stick this right in the fridge. Now it's time to do our red pepper corn sticks. And the one thing I want you to do is, when you get your corn stick pan, preheat your oven to 400 and just put this in there, and it'll stay in there for about 10 minutes to get nice and hot while we're making this dish. Okay, I'm gonna grab a fork and a spoon, and I'm going to put in my flour, my dry ingredients first, cornmeal, oops, baking powder, and we're gonna mix it all up together. Just good mix with a fork. And I'm gonna put just a little bit of salt in there. And get it ready for my wet ingredients. But I've got 1 egg, and I'm gonna beat it up nicely because this is going in with the wet ingredients. 1 egg. Got buttermilk. It's a 1/2 cup. I have butter, nice and melted, and some canola oil, just a tablespoon. All right. Now we're going to make sure that everything gets wet. And we'll be ready to make our corn sticks. Okay, this is a thick batter. But you can see how its consistency is absolutely beautiful. Now, red pepper flakes. This is an option. If you like it nice and spicy, you put red pepper flakes in this mix. I like it spicy. But since I'm making it for others, I'm not going to quite put as much as I would put if I was making it just for myself. And I know James is waiting on us, so we got to hurry up and get these corn sticks done. While that rests for just a minute, I'm going to get those baked beans out of the oven. I know they're ready. Oh, wow. They smell wonderful. See that bacon done on the top? And we can turn this off. And I'm going to let those sit and rest for a minute. Let's grab our corn stick pan. Nice and hot. And I'm going to take a little bit of cooking spray, just a touch. And I'm going to bring this right over to the oven. Now I've got 2 spoons, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill my pan just enough so it can rise a little bit. And this is the easy way. I just sort of spread it once I've got it in there. And it is nice and hot, so make sure you don't forget and touch it with your fingers. It actually starts cooking when you put the dough into the pan because the pan is so hot. All right, ready, smooth down, and pop them in the oven. It takes about 10 to 12 minutes. When the corn sticks are golden brown on the top, you know they're ready. Okay, let's take a peek. All right, looks nice and done. I'm gonna put it right here, and I'm taking some melted butter, and I'm just gonna brush the tops with melted butter. And then I'm gonna show you the easy way to get them out of the pan. I just use a regular dinner knife. And remember, they're hot. Just make sure that there's nothing on the side. Slide the dinner knife under the breadstick and it comes out just like that. Okay, we might need to check the sides here. Slide it under, comes right out. There we go, all done. And off we go.
The Coastal Kitchen would like to say thank you to our sponsors at Holden Brothers Farm Market in Charlotte for supplying the fresh produce on this week's show. Swing by their indoor market located near mile marker 10 on Highway 17 or check them out online at holdenbrothersfarmmarket.com.
We are in Brunswick County with James Russ. He is a dear friend and he is the premier meat cooker in Brunswick County. Today we're going to do Boston butt and beef brisket. So James, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Karen. It's a pleasure to be doing this. An old Brunswick County man don't do a lot of things like this, you know. But anyway, the first thing we're going to go into is a brisket. There's several things you can do. Mostly on a brisket, we use a rub. First thing you do to it, you take cold water and wash that brisket. The second thing you do to it, before you cook it, I'll show you right here. You take a brisket, now that's a piece of meat there, Karen.
That is a piece of meat,
Yeah.
James. How many people will that feed?
This brisket weighed 13 pounds and something.
Okay.
Now the one I've cooked is not quite that big.
Okay.
But this brisket right here will probably feed men probably 15 head.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
great.
it's a lot of meat here.
That's great.
And this is not all of it. We had, I took about 1.5 pounds of fat off of this brisket. See this right here? That's fat. It was really higher. This is always the thick end of the brisket. Goes down to an inch, 1.5 inches.
Okay.
When it goes down the neck, it gets thinner actually. See, but what you got? You take it, you trim it. I never take much of my fat off the bottom. This is fat right here. You take this thing. A lot of people likes to use their own rub. If he cooks a lot, he'll make up his own rubs. I do some like that. I've got rubs. I use mostly the one we've cooked today. I'm using a Jack Shack rub, which is a Kansas City dry rub is what it is.
Okay.
And they do a lot of this in Kansas City. I've got some here, actually, like this. I made up on my own. I use a lot of it. But mostly on briskets, I use a dry rub on them.
Okay.
If you've ever noticed, when they're cooking them and they bring them out, they're black. A lot of that is the burnt rub that has gone into the meat. So after we take it, clean it up good now, wash it, rub it down. I would recommend rubbing it down for at least overnight, wrapping it up in a tinfoil paper or something that it'll be tight to it, you know. So let me put this away. I'll go ahead and get the real stuff out here now.
Okay, that smells so good, James.
This is a smaller brisket right here. This brisket cooks in a smoker now. There's a difference in a smoker, which you use the smoke to help penetrate into the meat. This right here is a grill, and you don't have the smoke that's involved into it.
This gives it a much nicer flavor too,
well,
don't you
the
think?
smoke flavor. And the first thing I do go through. I take it. I use apple wood chips. I've used charcoal. Switch over to apple smoke, and it gives a real sweet flavor. So it's something that you need to try. You might like it if you don't go to a hickory chips.
Right. Now,
Pecan chips even.
How long did you cook this?
This here cooked about 8 hours.
8 hours.
Yeah, now
8
it was
hours
a
in your
smaller
smokers.
brisket. Actually, it was a smaller brisket than that big one.
Okay.
So what you got here, you can tell that thing's ready too. I can tell you.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now you have to cut brisket in a different manner than.
You always use an angle. If you can see right here, you've got a smoke. See this smoke right here ring?
Right.
And if you leave it in and smoke it right, you'll get a ring. And sometimes you'll get one deeper than that.
Okay.
And then sometimes it depends on the meat. So it would be good. And
So always cut it at an angle.
I cut it at an angle like this in pieces. You can see what you got. So,
Okay. Well, guess what?
go ahead and try
I've
it.
got a taste.
You go ahead and try it, and I would recommend to people to try different rubs as far as what they will flavor type, what they would like themselves.
This is a testament to how good you are.
Well, it's good. This is a good rub, and I ordered this rub here, and it's not hard to find rubs because everywhere you go, you've got bags of it and different type rubs.
Okay. Well, now we've got that one done. Tell me about the butt.
Let me put this thing away, and what I'm going to do, give me just a second.
Oh, take a look.
I'm going to take this, throw it right here, and we'll take care of this brisket after a while. Here and now we've got our Boston butt.
Oh, wow, what a piece of meat.
This Boston butt right here has not been cooked or grilled. You can see there's a lot of little places on where I've cut fat off of it. Boston butt has a fatty green. You got a lot of grain of fat through a Boston butt. And actually, meat that's got fat in it through it helps flavor it.
Exactly.
So it makes a better piece of meat, actually.
Right.
And this particular one here has got Jack Shack rub on it. Now you can marinate it.
That's one you have to order, isn't it, James?
Yeah. Or you can take some of this stuff right here. This is a Cuban. A lot of Cubans use this sauce here. It's a it's a citrus sauce. And anytime you dealing in fruit, grapes, not the grapes, excuse me, orange,
Lemon,
lime, or anything like that, it'll break the meat down. And for cooking whole pigs, I inject the whole pig with this stuff right here.
Oh, that's great.
So that really be. You can actually taste it in the meat sometimes.
I love citrus flavor on
That's
meat.
good. But these people here, they make different kind of sauces like that.
Okay.
But what you do, you take it, you go all the way around it. You need to go at least 1.5 to 2 inches in it and inject this stuff into it.
That's a big needle, James.
That's pretty good size. I've got some smaller ones.
That's good.
But when you're using a lot of sauces that's got little stuff in it, like your oranges and stuff, you need a big
spices,
needle.
yeah.
You need a big needle to get it through.
Right. Now, how long do you have to cook this Boston butt?
This Boston butt here, and this is most of the time it's around 6 to 8 pounds or more.
Okay.
You need to cook this Boston butt here about 8 hours.
Okay, that's great.
And you need to keep it on about 245 to 250 in that area.
Now, is a piece of meat like this like some things that you don't open the door until you just about think it's ready?
Well, that's the way I am.
Okay.
My cooker, I've got locks down on it, and I lock it down, and my time-wise, I know how long it's going to take to pretty well get it cooked. But the key to it is, I never take a piece of meat off the cooker that I don't have a meat thermometer. A Boston butt like this, you need to be at least 165 degrees at the bone. And I'm talking about the bone. You got a charm bone right here. Put it all the way to the bone, and it's supposed to be done at 160 to 165. Yeah.
That's great.
I cook them a little bit more sometimes, but it depends on what you're going to do with them. Like sandwich meat, you can cut better if they're not quite cooked that long. But anyways, let me get one of these out of here and show you.
Okay. They are absolutely beautiful.
Let's see what I got here. Let me take this right here. This Boston butt right here was rubbed down with kosher salt. And it was washed, cleaned up, dried off, and then rubbed kosher salt in it. You can use a brown sugar. You can use a, they got dozens of different sauces. The gojo, hey, it's good for it. You can just rub it on it. Mm-hmm. But most of the time I inject them, like I told you all a while ago, you know.
Okay.
And this right here, when you look at a Boston butt on the grill, and if you don't see this bone sticking out at least a ½ inch or an inch, this meat's not done.
Okay. That's a great tip.
Yeah. You can look at it and tell when it's done. And you can also just figure, well, it's not, if it's up here, see this meat once, the meat once was as long as where the bone is cut off.
That's right.
But it's cooked and it's drawed it up. So you can, I've got several on the grill here that's like that one. Like that one, for instance, I've got, hey, ½ inch, ¾ of an inch of bone on it.
Right.
It's a little bit warmer on the back of the grill, see.
Yeah.
But you can take this thing like this right here. See, you can see the fat, where the fat runs through the cut.
Juicy.
Got a line of fat in here.
All right, cut me a little bite off, James.
It's not dried out. It's a, there you go.
All right.
If you like chicken bogs, I usually, if I cook a chicken bog, I'll put a 8-pound ground up Boston butt into the chicken bog. And that'll give you some flavor, plus the chicken and the sausage and everything.
Well, I think this is my kind of piece of meat. It is absolutely melt in your mouth.
Well, I know
you have done a wonderful job.
Well, anyways, I'm glad I hope I helped somebody.
Well, I think that we've done enough to want to start to eat it, right?
Well, we can certainly do that.
Well, let's get everything together and let's take a plate.
That'll be great.
The Coastal Kitchen would like to say thank you to our sponsors at Food Lion, your neighborhood grocery store. Swing by your local Food Lion today to find all the ingredients needed to make the meal featured on this week's show.
Thank you for joining us at the Coastal Kitchen on location with James Russ. You can find our recipes at atmctv.com. You can find us on Facebook. And we've got a couple other recipes that are little surprises for you with this show. Banana raspberry pudding. James, thank you again for joining us and showing us this wonderful meat. It has been a pleasure.
Well, I've enjoyed it, Karen. I thank you.
Well, let's eat.